We all get the same 24 hours every day, yet somehow, some people use those hours to build their dreams, while others spend them just thinking about what they could do. It's not luck. It's not destiny. The truth is simple. Some value time, while others take it for granted. Most of us live with the idea that there's always tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'll start. Tomorrow, I'll learn. Tomorrow, I'll change. But tomorrow is a thief. It steals your dreams slowly, without making a sound. And by the time you notice, it's too late. Once upon a time, in a small riverside village, there lived a boy named Arjun. He was smart, full of energy, and had endless potential. His parents believed he'd do great things someday, but Arjun had one weakness: he always delayed. When his mother called for help, he said, "Later, Ma." When his teacher gave him homework, he said, "I'll do it tomorrow." When his friend invited him to learn something new, he smiled and said, "Maybe next time." Days became months, months became years, and later became his habit, while others moved forward, learning, growing, creating. Arjun stayed exactly where he was. He didn't notice at first. Life felt easy, comfortable, familiar, but slowly, his friends began to move ahead. Some got jobs, some built businesses, some even traveled to new cities to chase their dreams. Arjun watched them go, still waiting for his perfect time. He didn't know that time never waits for anyone. One evening, after another long, unproductive day, Arjun sat outside his small home, staring at the sunset. His father, an old fisherman, sat beside him quietly. He could see the restlessness in his son's eyes. After a few moments, his father said, "Son, you remind me of a story about a man who didn't understand the value of time until it was too late." Arjun turned to him. "What story, father?" His father smiled. "The story of a fisherman like me." And so, as the sun disappeared beyond the horizon, he began. Many years ago, before the river had bridges and boats, there lived a fisherman who worked alone. Every morning, before dawn, he went to the river to cast his net, and every evening, he returned home tired but content. One night, he left earlier than usual. The moon was hidden, and the world was wrapped in darkness. As he walked along the riverbank, his foot struck something heavy. He bent down and found a small cloth bag filled with round stones. They were cold, rough, and ordinary. He couldn't see what they were in the dark, but to pass the time, he began tossing them into the water. Plop, plop, plop. At each splash, echoed softly through the quiet night. The sound felt satisfying. He smiled, tossing one after another. It was fun, harmless, just a way to kill timers. Past, the night slowly began to fade. As the first light of dawn touched the sky, the fisherman reached into the bag again. Only one stone was left. He held it up to throw, but as sunlight hit it, he froze. It wasn't a stone, it was a diamond. His eyes widened. He poured out the empty bag, hoping for more. But it was too late. He had thrown away every diamond, every treasure into the river. He sat there in silence, holding the last diamond in his trembling hands, heart filled with regret. If only he had waited for the light. If only he had looked closer. If only he had realized what he was holding. But time doesn't move backward. The diamonds were gone forever. His father looked at Arjun and said softly, "Son, Life is like that bag of stones. Every day you waste, every chance you ignore, is a diamond you throw away. You may not see its value now, but one day you'll look back and realize what you lost. Arjun stayed silent. The story echoed in his heart long after his father went inside. That night, Arjun couldn't sleep. He kept thinking about the fisherman and the diamonds, thought about the days he had wasted doing nothing, all the plans he had postponed, all the dreams he said he'd start tomorrow. He realized something painful. He had been throwing away his diamonds too. The next morning, Arjun woke up before sunrise. For the first time, the village was silent. The sky was still dark. He sat by the river, just like the fisherman in the story. And in that quiet moment, he made a promise to himself. No more waiting. No more tomorrow. I'll start today. He didn't know where to begin, but he began anyway. He picked up a book he had ignored for months. He helped his mother with her chores. He cleaned his room. He exercised. He studied. At first, it felt strange, hard, slow. But with every passing day, he began to feel stronger, not in body, but in mind. Time, he realized, was not his enemy. It was his teacher. Weeks turned into months. Arjun's efforts began to show. He became focused, disciplined, and confident. People who once overlooked him now came to him for advice. He finally understood what his father meant, that time is life itself, and wasting time is wasting life. Years later, Arjun became a successful man. He built a small school by the river to teach children about life, discipline, and purpose. One morning, an old fisherman visited him, his father. They sat together, watching the sunrise. Arjun smiled and said, "Father, remember the story of the fisherman and the diamonds?" His father nodded. "Yes, I do." Arjun looked at the sky and whispered, "I was that fisherman once, but now I see the diamonds." His father smiled proudly. "That's the real treasure, my son, not wealth, not fame, but understanding the value of time." The story of Arjun and the fisherman teaches us something simple yet powerful. Every day, you wake up with a handful of diamonds, your hours, your minutes, your moments. What you do with them is up to you. You can waste them scrolling, complaining, or waiting for motivation. Or you can use them to build, to learn, to love, to grow. Remember, time is silent. It doesn't warn you when it's leaving. But one day, you'll look back and you'll see what you threw away and what you chose to keep. So don't wait for the right moment. The right moment is now. The diamonds are in your hands. Don't throw them away.